Hey guys, Bitcoin lost nearly 7% of its value in just one day. And fake news about the launch of ETFs led to more than $300 million in liquidations. At the same time, altcoins went up despite all the negative news. What is going on? Is it a global conspiracy, the usual manipulations of the big players, or the end of the crypto market? Let's find out.
3, 2, 1, fire!
So far, all we have seen in 2024 is one big manipulation. BTC is going up and down and simply causing panic throughout the market. In my recent videos, I have repeatedly called for a little wait and not to get into such an unstable market. Now I propose to give you a little chronology of events to make it easier for you to understand how easily the market has been manipulated lately. The entire crypto community and the media are buzzing about the Bitcoin ETF and its launch. If you watch the news at least sometimes, you know about it. In this way, we are all being wounded up before a really important event, but they are almost always trying to impose blind confidence in what kind of to the moon we are about to see and so on. But what are we really seeing? Instead, we are witnessing constant liquidations worth millions of dollars. And the further we go, the more it seems that they are trying to throw us out of the market. And this trend of constant deception started last year when we saw fake news about Cointelegraph. They literally tweeted a fake news story about the launch of Bitcoin ETFs, and then the euphoria was unbelievable. But it was quickly determined that it was a fake news story, which led to liquidations of more than $92 million in BTC alone. After that, the market was relatively calm until the beginning of this year, when we approached the theoretical ETF launch date and faced a new wave of manipulation. On January 2nd, Matrix published information and its opinion that Bitcoin ETFs would be accepted in the coming days, up to and including January 10th. And such news began to come from many publications and funds, all of which believed that ETFs would be accepted very soon. In addition, analysts at TD Cowen said that the SEC would accept the applications out of political necessity. They also noted that the SEC needs to cement its name as the main regulator in the cryptocurrency field before Congress considers new legislation for digital assets. What I found particularly interesting was that TD Cowen openly stated that the SEC would not be able to win the case if the petitions were denied, which is not at all surprising as the SEC is indeed under pressure from the current U.S. administration, and such confidence from analysts of a major U.S. bank also played a role in the market. It became clear to everyone that the SEC is in a desperate situation, so this is a winning story for cryptos. Many even started to take long positions, which later turned out to be a big mistake. At the same time, Bitcoin continued to gradually grow and gain momentum, adding 4% to its price on January 2 alone. But Matrix's sentiment and predictions changed very quickly and in the most ambiguous way possible to a thesis of rejection for all applications. Here's what they said in their report. We believe that all applications fall short of a critical requirement that must be met before SEC approval. This might be met by Q2 2024, but we expect the SEC to reject all proposals in January. The current 5-person voting commissioner's leadership critical for the ETF approval of the SEC is dominated by Democrats. SEC Chair Gensler is not embracing crypto in the US, and it might even be a very long shot to expect that he would vote to approve Bitcoin spot ETF. Already on January 3rd, they published a report with the most polarizing thesis compared to what they said just one day before. The market reacted immediately. BTC demonstrated negative 10.5% in just one day, which is really a lot. Just think about the volume needed to move such a giant by 10%. This situation triggered a huge number of liquidations worth $500 million in long positions alone. Not only was I outraged by this, but Eric Balchunas made his position on such manipulation clear. While we were making this video, things have changed and gotten even more interesting. And now we can see dubious moves on the part of the SEC itself. Late last night, the SEC's official page posted a message about accepting all applications. I started to look at the market, but I saw the most bizarre reaction. BTC dropped by 7%, and the number of liquidations and amounts were simply off the charts, reaching $300 million. Then I went back to Twitter, and it turned out that there was no acceptance yet, and the SEC profile had been hacked. Personally, I saw an absolute mirror situation with what happened with Cointelegraph. This outraged people. Nobody believes in this scenario and thinks that it is an open manipulation of the market. It is especially funny that before this, Gary Gensler urged investors to be careful with crypto because these assets are very, very dangerous and they are securities in general. By the way, he also got a lot of hate for this, which I think is quite predictable. But back to the news from the SEC. Again, Eric Balchunas has spoken out about this situation. He believes that someone made the post a day earlier. If this is true, then it is very likely that the SEC will be accepting filings today. And here we can see the market reaction as many are expecting to sell on the news. In one of her recent interviews with ARK Invest CEO Cathie Wood said that we shouldn't expect such sales. So let's see if she's right.
Could this be a sell on the news event? What happens from here? Let's assume this is approved.
Sure. I think so many people are expecting now a sell on the news that we might not have a sell on the news because, once you hear that enough, the positioning is already taking place. So,
by the way, if we go back to the fake news from the SEC, we can see that the situation is gaining new momentum. Twitter's security service issued a comment making it clear that the SEC account had been hacked. And while people continue to mock Gary Gensler, U.S. senators are demanding that the SEC give Congress a full report on what happened within 4 days. If this compromised social media post was indeed the result of a cybersecurity attack, would it be possible for the Commission, SEC, to provide Congress with a report on the breach within 4 business days? If not, please explain why. So the SEC is going through some pretty difficult times. And if they don't accept the spot bids, it will just completely destroy them. That's why I personally expect them to accept orders and open trading tomorrow. But what will happen next? It's very difficult to make any kind of a prediction in such a market because the usual methods of analysis cannot give you a 100% understanding of the situation, given the amount of manipulation in the market. Some experts known for their false predictions are saying on TV that BTC has reached its maximum and will not grow anymore.
What are we doing with these? Let's stop fooling around. If you want Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin's topping out, by the way, so I'm going to...
But it is better to not listen to Jim Cramer. Usually, everything he says is wrong. What am I seeing in the streaming market? The SEC accepts some applications, and we briefly touch the 50,000 level, after which we roll back to at least the $40,000 support level. It is likely that we'll settle into the accumulation zone between 40,000 and 45,000, and then we will see an upward movement after the Bitcoin halving, which will take place in about 100 days. But I want to remind you that at this stage, these are just my thoughts, and the market may behave completely differently. Moreover, this is the first cryptocurrency spot ETF, which will actually become an example for others. So be very careful. The market is a big scam right now. Do your own research and only invest if you are 100% sure of your actions. And that's all for today. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the growth of coins and new trends. Thanks for watching. Your Coin Post.